Hi, I'm John Barkas with the Industry Strategy Group of Oracle. I have with me today Craig Halterman, the CIO of Kohu. And today we're going to be talking to you about driving continuous product and service innovation. Innovation is happening at an incredibly fast pace. Companies today have to innovate faster than ever in order to just survive. And partly it's because there's some really large tectonic shifts that are happening. Digitization is leading to as-a-service business models. It's really transforming the way companies do business. Instead of selling products, they're actually selling services or even selling products as a service in order to be able to support the needs of their customers. And this is a dramatic shift in the way that they've done business previously. Global competition, and the market needs are a lot more diverse than they ever were in the past. In fact, very specific to individual markets. And the demand for faster delivery of these customized products is growing faster and faster. In fact, COVID-19 hasn't slowed innovation. It's actually amplifying it to historic levels. The pace of change is just incredibly difficult to keep up with. And we can see that in the graveyard of companies that have actually left us because they weren't able to adapt to the changes that were occurring in the market. And disruption in product innovation and development is incredibly fast. And companies are increasing their focus on software and services for innovation. In fact, 73% are planning to or are already leveraging software and services to actually drive the majority of their innovation activities. And we can see that in the products that we use every day. Whereas a lot of the new features and functionality that we expect have already been preceded in the product, and it's really only enabled through switches in software. And companies are really integrating advanced technologies into their product development cycle. They're leveraging AI or machine learning to identify whether or not they're releasing the right products, whether the customers are actually leveraging and using those products, or how they're using them, and helping them to innovate faster than they ever had before. And those companies that are using PLM are really reducing their product development life cycles. And some of this is driven by regulations, but a lot of it is just driven because of the capability or the overall the requirements of the market itself. In fact, automobiles in the last 30 years have reduced their life cycle of products by 30%. And we're seeing that across the board. And whoever envisioned that we would be throwing away a $1,000 phone every 3 years. And companies are using more and more technologies in order to accelerate their product development cycle and improve the overall quality. Those that are using IoT or other mechanisms to automate the ways of bringing information into the systems are using digital twins to be able to integrate and validate that the processes and the products that they're building are the right products. And the way Oracle does that is we help you with a connected innovation solution. We look across all of your business processes and how you provide for products and services throughout the design process, the plan process, the produce or manufacturing process, and then also the servicing of the products. Throughout every one of these processes, we tie together common information that helps me to minimize the latency associated with when I identify issues or problems, and I tie those back into the design process. I do that through starting with initially a common data model. And that common data model holds all the product information, includes all the attributes necessary, all the manufacturing information necessary, and it's all seen all in a common system. I leverage a digital thread that basically ties all these pieces together to be able to get that information to the right places at the right time as necessary. Where necessary, I'll tie in IoT to be able to tie these business processes in to get the information. I leverage AI and ML to be able to use that information and be able to make sense of that vast amounts of data so that I can actually make good decisions that will help me to improve my products, improve the processes, and improve the quality. And one of the ways that we're able to do that is we look at the voice of the product. Regardless of where in the manufacturing or use cycle that product is, we monitor and track that product. In addition to that, we look at the factory itself. So in the factory, as I'm manufacturing the products, either in my own facilities or in my suppliers' facilities, I use that information to help me to continually to make improvements. And I also look at the voice of the customer. So to identify how my customer is using the product, whether or not they're happy with it, what features they're using, so I can feed all of that information back into the design process. or to help me to predict by leveraging a digital twin of when and how I'm able to service that product. This information all helps me to accelerate the product service innovation cycle by minimizing the latency associated when I determine the information and be able to execute on it. It helps me to move faster. In addition to that, I can optimize my business processes so I can innovate in this area. And then also, I want to be able to innovate in my experiences that the customer has by understanding exactly how the customer is using it and maximizing that potential. And all of this then leads to business model innovation. So I can understand what new products and services that my customers want, and I allow myself to be able to rapidly adapt to those changes. So I'm much more agile in adapting to whatever requirements and opportunities exist in the market. So Oracle really helps to do this by looking across all of the business processes associated with innovation, you know, the innovate cycle, the development and commercializing, and be able to look across that on every one of those steps and be able to tie those pieces together. I do that with an integrated Oracle Cloud PLM platform. And then I can take it from the beginning where I'm looking at new ideas, and it allows me to innovate those, turn those into a concept, be able to plan for them, actually develop that, validate that it's being done correctly, I can sustain it, and then end of life. In every one of those processes, I'm tied together through common business processes. I'm tied together with a common data model. It allows me to be significantly more efficient in the overall process. And I'm doing that through advanced technologies, you know, throughout every step in the process, leveraging integrated analytics because I have one complete picture of everything I'm looking at. Native mobility, so regardless of where I am or how I'm using the applications, I can leverage the applications as I see fit. A single data model, embedded collaboration throughout every step, and then also digital assistants to help me to be more efficient in the way that I interact with the system, recognizing that the system itself has to be extensible so that I can be able to extend it to meet the needs of my own individual requirements, recognizing that no two companies are ever alike. So again, tying all that back to the voice of the customer, the voice of the product, and the voice of the factory. So with that background, what I'd like to do is introduce Craig Halterman. Again, he's the CIO of Cohu. He's going to tell us a little bit about himself and a little bit about his company, and then we'll get into some questions. Craig?
Hi, thanks, John. My name is Craig Halterman. I'm CIO of Cohu, as John mentioned. I joined the Cohu family in 2016. Before that, I'd been in other roles as a CIO for Aerojet Rocketdyne, Excelis Technologies, and had been at Honeywell and GE in my younger years. So I'm now in Southern California and enjoy the opportunity to speak to everyone today.
And Craig, you know, you, with all the experience you have, you've had a lot of experience with the different PLM systems. And how do you think Oracle PLM Cloud is different from the previous PLM systems that you used?
I think really you have to talk about how processes and businesses have changed in the last 10 years. We've transitioned away from sustaining and maintaining a legacy of systems on premise, and all those past processes that were associated with designing, manufacturing, and maintaining products were sequential and separate. And now our PLM, our manufacturing, our install base, our customer supporting systems, they're all integrated. And what has happened was those systems of the past were often supported by emotions and culture and maintained that barrier to progressing and moving forward to a cloud environment or a one company environment. And that's what we were really striving for. We wanted a solution that brought and integrated our world into a modern platform. In today's world of Industry 4.0, you have connected products and products that are sold as a service with performance, guarantees. And those processes are no longer sequential, and they are connected and interconnected. And that is where we get the time and the acceleration to information and the value by eliminating those decoupled solutions. The silos and disparate systems of the past, they just didn't have the velocity to deliver the needed support for, our business flows of today, mainly of prior years where people worked in silos and promoted that behavior. But our overall project goal was to have one company and one solution. So Oracle is that integrated one solution. It's a platform that builds, allows us to go from our design all the way through to our customer and service, all in one platform, delivered anywhere you want, information anywhere.
Great, pretty impressive. Yeah, I'm wondering now, so when you think about business benefits of that, I mean, it's a mouthful, everything you've been able to accomplish in that regard, but how has that helped you to maybe go to market faster, especially all the way from the design to the service, and has it helped you have higher quality innovation, and get to market faster than what you were able to before?
We're still learning, and this is a living process, and we continue to evolve. And we're evolving our business, not evolving our back office systems and product design cycle systems. We're leveraging the technology of Oracle. And when you have disparate systems, use connectors, and they run several times a day, and that naturally introduces latency. But the bigger problem is you have no one Oracle of truth. And I guess there's a pun there, but there's no single 360-degree product record information that you could get when those systems are decoupled and spread across the globe. It's hard to make fast and accurate decisions when you have to spend your time hunting and gathering information. And that information was being gathered from multiple systems. Our digital DNA, as the as designed, as built, as in service solutions, that information, was decoupled. And now, we're bringing it together in one platform. Before, we lost integrity of the data because there were time elements, there were transposition issues, there was transfer issues. So the integrity is back, and we're learning to clean our data and accelerate our time to information. Oracle enables that 360-degree one solution of product information, but also brings the quality information. And we want to, go from cradle to grave with our information in one solution. So not only do we have the platform that allows us to have that one integration point, but now we're having the ability to actually spend time analyzing the data. So we have the analytics and the cloud analytics to the ERP solution, so that we have dashboards and that we have information for people to make decisions, versus spending all of our time tracking down the information and then realizing we didn't have enough time and we just went ahead and made a decision. Often, working with less than perfect data, and we're improving. And as we learn to take advantage of the Oracle Cloud and the PLM and the whole solution that provides our platform for our business and enterprise systems, we've been able to accelerate time to information, but also improve the quality of our data. And that ultimately will lead to improvements in quality in our products and services to our customers.
How has the unified Oracle PLM Cloud actually helped you to unify and improve your business processes?
Well, I think it's key in this day and age that you have to access data real time throughout your entire product life cycle. It's not being built in a vacuum. And for us to collaborate and to utilize and to get the synergies from our growth strategy through acquisitions, you need to bring your resources closer to each other and to integrate that information from early design and manufacturing through to quality and that feedback cycle. Oracle Cloud PLM is enabling us to break down the walls of siloed, disparate business process and scale our business more quickly. I mean, as an example, in one of our factories in Malaysia, it was not uncommon to receive 3 or 4 different workflows for an engineering change order. And that was because originating systems had transferred, or the design houses of our different businesses had transferred manufacturing to Malaysia. And that recipient downstream might have to understand and translate 3 or 4 different workflows. Now we have one, and we've unified that solution. And that solution that's unified is also allowing us to bring forward not only to our customer base, but we're working the supply chain. It allows us to reduce that cycle time where the product ended up with an issue at the dock and then we had to repeat. And that delay is impactful to our overall supply chain, but it's also an impact to the cost of quality. And we want to make sure that we're bringing our environment as close as we can to real time, and reducing that is something that we're able to do now with the technology. Our life cycle and of all of our products, we're working to get to that point where we know when it comes in the door, it has the quality we want, and having that visibility, that 360-degree view of our product life cycle is important. And that's why we feel that the investment, the move forward, and the strategy that Oracle is delivering is right for ourselves and probably anybody else who is looking at the product. They should understand this really helps focus your attention on the analytics of what your product is and what your product lifecycle is, and it gets you away from having to build and maintain the software. And that's, for us, and I think most companies, is key.
Oh, that's great. Hey, so Craig, you talk a lot about like supplier quality and bringing in consistent business processes across your plants, and as you execute this, when you put this all together, ultimately, as you mentioned earlier, it's all about customer satisfaction. And so, how do you think maybe the end product quality, the quality that you actually provide to the customer and their satisfaction, how has that improved? Because you've been able to execute these common processes and improve the lower level component quality.
I think that the information that we've received today is that we're gathering information on a closed loop, and there's a cycle of information that's 360 where we get feedback and we have analytics now to actually allow us to interpret and make decisions not only about what our supply base might be, but also design, product characteristics, manufacturability. All those things are starting to be focused on. Before, we had to spend all of our time focused on feeding the beast, so to speak. We had to feed all these customizations. We had to train people. This is an organizational change transformation just as much as it is a product technology evolution. So bringing our install base of customers was important, but also bringing our team, and we had to be able to support them. And having a quality defect or issue introduced by our team because they were forced to understand multiple processes, or they were forced to understand multiple build cycles or technologies, now is allowing us to do a better job of complete quality. And our goal is to drive out all quality issues and to improve to a point where we're focused on 100% satisfaction, 100% quality. Are we there yet? I don't think anybody would ever say that you ever get there, but we are making progress, and this helps us reduce all the things that you want to reduce: scrap, rework, improve overall team productivity. And ultimately what that means is we're going to get to market faster, or we're going to get to the market at the right point with the right product.
So you've gone through an amazing journey. It's been a real great pleasure that Oracle's been able to participate in that journey and help you to contribute some of your business goals and be able to improve your overall quality, improve the rate of innovation that you have. And thank you for your time today.
Oh, thank you, John. And it's been a interesting and meaningful journey and transformation for co-hosts. So we couldn't have done it without the Oracle platform. And, we really are fully committed to making sure not only our current world, but our future world involves the Oracle product lifecycle management and the tools that we've been talking about today. So thank you.
And to summarize some of the information that you've heard, and especially some of those great points that Craig has made on how he's helped to enable Kohu and improve their innovation cycle, I wanted to summarize some of the activities that Oracle could do to help you in your innovation. First off, we have an integrated PLM platform that helps you to accelerate innovation across your entire enterprise. We have a single data model that helps you to improve data quality and reporting visibility. We do that because you can see all the data in a single place. We have flexible and agile business processes that help support innovation from design all the way through service. And we help you to support the evolution to new and innovative business models by bringing all that information together and help you to make the right decisions. If you need any more information, please go to www.oracle.com/plm. And thank you for your time.